We are in the last day of the greatest event hosted by KPMG Romania, EMA Tax Reimagined Country Leaders Meeting. We are together here with my colleagues, Maria, Adriana, and Vlad, to discuss about tax transformation, the transformation of the tax function around the world. Tax regulation is increasing in volume, complexity, and speed. Therefore, we are talking about digital reporting, real-time data submission, e-invoicing. All these regulations are redefining what tax compliance actually means. So the challenge for companies is that regulation is no longer changing annually. It is changing continuously. So the first question that I have, Adriana, you work with many large international companies. They are looking to transform their tax operation just in order to be able to better cope with increased regulations. What do you think are the top 3 transformation initiatives that you see giving actual results?
Yeah. Thanks, Aline. I think the last part of your question is the really important one. Actual results. What does it actually work? Because at the moment, everyone is looking to transform. And if I have to think of the top 3, like you asked me, I'll try to be brief. I think I will start with an unshocking answer, and the number 1 priority is effective tax data management. And I see it with all of the companies that I interact with, that I support, those that started really early, putting data first at the top of their transformation agenda, already right now are able to reap the benefits of having good quality at source. And when I say benefits, I don't actually mean spending less time in doing manual tasks in the tax department. I mean, they are able to give real benefits to the business, cash flow and tax R&D credits and all of that kind of things. So that is really the first number 1 result that they get from managing their tax data properly, the fact that they are a true business partner to their business. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think it's really around the ERP transformation. Basically, I think all the companies in the world are going through updating their ERPs. It started with SAP HANA and everyone is doing it. And we all know that an ERP implementation in any company, it's not led by tax. Maybe finance gets involved, but tax is almost always forgotten. So if I would give an advice to anyone that is a head of tax or works in a large tax department to have one objective this year to put on the CFO table is put tax on the roadmap of your ERP implementation, because it saves a lot of time and it saves a lot of risks later on if you manage to do that. But it's a very complicated task to achieve. Yeah. And the last and certainly not least, and I'll stop there and let my colleagues intervene as well, is double down on tax risk framework, anything that is risk management, because the authorities are much more aggressive than they used to be. There is a different approach. So if you have a right framework in place, you will be able to cope much better with the very, very quick changes that we are now able as tax professionals that we have to be able to respond.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Adriana. So Maria, when I think about managing tasks, indirect taxes are one of the most complex. What do you think? What are the trends when you're talking about indirect tax?
I think it's in line with what Adri said, and you mentioned in the beginning, digital reporting. If I have to pick up the biggest transformation initiatives that I've seen across majority of our clients' portfolio is understanding and fixing data quality at source. Mm-hmm. And why do I say that? Because while we support clients on fixing the data downstream, so before a VAT return is being submitted, I think the real transformation happens upstream in the ERP configuration, whether it is master data, whether it is tax determination. This is what is going to enable clients to have it, what I like to call, right first time.
Yeah.
And I think this is also equally important because it goes with the second transformation initiative that I've seen across my clients, that is getting ready for the e-invoicing or digital reporting.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Vlad, Romania is the front runner, when we're talking about adopting digital reporting, at least, and all this digital revolution. Yeah. What is your perspective from the local market?
So maybe here it's worth mentioning also the client's perspective because we had a client with us and they shared about their tax transformation process. And I totally agree. And this is proved also by my colleagues that first of all, it's the real data, the real-time data provisions. I mean, the safety reporting, the e-invoicing, all this came in the last 2 years also in Romania, and the companies were struggling with the adoption of such type of real-time reporting. Now, one of the initiatives, it's clear that they work on the implementation of their ERP systems to provide this real data in time. Then they are looking also to the internal processes, and here we are speaking about the targeting operating model that they also shared with us. But I think the most important thing that they also shared with us, it's about the business, how the business should know about this tax impact. So I agree with Adriana. It's better to properly, let's say, after you have a targeting operating model, to properly share with the leadership and take measures to comply. I mean, from a compliance point of view, it's really important because what it comes after is the tax audits. And if you are not properly prepared, then you are facing some challenges that, if the tax authorities don't agree, you may face the consequences.
Okay, thank you, Vlad. So it's clear that the transformation is here. Things are rapidly changing. So what about people? What about skills and talent? What would be the best strategy that we should take?
The HR playbook, Alin, that we all have is perfectly written to get us the best people that we can get for the tax department of 10 years ago, I'm afraid. And I see a lot of tax leaders struggling. What do I have to do to be prepared? And when you ask our HR colleagues, it's hard for them to give us an answer. So from what I see, I think that the answer is don't be afraid to take risks. Of course, get your basics right and have the right, tax specialists, accountants that you need in your team, but don't be afraid to hire engineers. Don't be afraid to hire a very enthusiastic, fast learner that loves to experiment with AI. Don't be afraid to hire a data scientist in your team and to put his main objective only on the tax department, because then you will see the results. I was speaking recently with the head of tax of a large pharma company that was telling me he has always struggled with the quarterly tax reporting. Who hasn't? Yeah. And he has a process that he follows that takes about 2 or 3 days to do every quarter. He hired a new, very young person in his team, and that guy came to me and he said, I will build an AI agent to be able to automate the tax reporting. The head of tax said yes, obviously didn't really believe that was possible. At the end of the day, the young joiner said, I finished. And then the head of tax that I was speaking with said, I didn't even look at what he did for a few weeks because I was like, come on, it's not possible. And actually, he was able to cut down 2 or 3 days from the quarterly process in a 1 day of focused work on looking at how can I translate repetitive issues into a persona. And that's one of the things you can achieve by being able to branch out in terms of skills. Okay. And I think most importantly, you have to find adaptable people because whatever we are doing today, we will not be doing a year and a half from now. So adaptability may be the most important skill that we need to look for.
Okay. Maria, what do you see?
I think from my experience, stop having conversations from people and technology as if there were separate topics. I think they are one, and we've seen that in the last months, And I think that in my experience, having those conversations together, people and technology as a one team, and explaining to the people the purpose, the why, trying to bring them together with the change. Because I think that everything is evolving. We've seen that indirect tax is evolving. And I think that our operating model is also evolving. So we need to really bring the people together.
Okay, great. Vlad, what do you see?
Yeah, I share both experiences. I'm also having in my team, of course, working for the clients, not being the client. But I would say that now, of course, the tax specialist needs to be there. But now I would call a new, let's say, speaking about the HR book, a tax technologist we need. To have a hybrid model to combine the expertise, who's using the technology and the AI, the whole tools that are coming over us. And indeed, I mean, what we are looking for, it's the efficiency, but I see that many people coming are more focused on this type of AI things, and this is good for us, because in the end we are looking for efficiency and for compliance with the tax regulations.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much again, and congratulations for the greatest event, EMA Tax Reimagine. And we should keep up the pace, of the transformation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.